Okay, so here we go. We are going to pour the concrete for our footers. So we went down to a Wingate Supply, which changed names to like Horizon or something. But anyway, we're going to be getting 60, 70, 80 pound bags worth of concrete, and it was just not going to make sense to try to do 5 or 6 loads at a time in my trailer and then break them all by hand and mix them. And so we went ahead and rented this machine. It was pretty cool. You rent the machine essentially for free based on deposit, and then they sell you the concrete in bulk 1 yard batches, pre-mixed, ready to go. This guy, he has mortar and concrete and water. He's setting up the mixture right there based on maybe the temperature or the conditions or whatever it is, but then he starts pouring it and it goes out that little hopper into this and just shoots it right on down. It was pretty cool to watch. I had never done this before, so now I know it exists. So we loaded up the mixer. He said it's a couple thousand pounds when it's all said and done, like 8,000 pounds or something. So it's a lot of concrete. Then we pour it right in the old wheelbarrow there, and they said the holes and cracks in my old wheelbarrow wouldn't matter. So we poured it, and then we just went hole to hole. It couldn't be easier. You have 2 hours from the time you fill the machine to when you need to bring the machine back and either get more concrete or hose it off and give it to the next guy. If you take more than 2 hours, it's $50 an hour. And that just keeps everyone moving. So, we got in there, we poured, we leveled, and we were gone. Just that easy. And it came out really nice. The inspector came and looked at it beforehand and checked everything, the rebar, and then we pour, and then we can go straight to our footers. We did have a little bit of extra concrete, and so I was able to pour some out back on the seawall to kind of tighten it up. So next, more wood. Here's my $2,700 26-foot LVL beams that were snuck into the plans at the last minute. They drive me crazy. Here we go. We're getting level. This is a bubble level, so this hose is filled with water, and the guy at each end marks the level of the water. Water will always self-level perfectly. So we measured up to where the new finished floor needs to be, and then leveled it out, got it ready, and started getting our posts ready. The posts are set. You drill a hole, and then you have this massive bolt that gets set in epoxy in the hole. So it's got to get blown out. My little air compressor I found came in handy for this. You just got to get all the dust out. Everything's got to be real clean for that epoxy to set. So a couple guys started cutting the 6x6s. We started measuring, double checking, dry fitting. This process took a long time, but it's the base of the entire house. So all these posts have to be in the exact perfect spot because everything is going to be based on these posts. So, we took a couple days, just doing this process. You can see those footers are looking good. Here's all the tools, hardware. This is, that's thousands of dollars right there. So to focus on these posts, these are the post brackets. They're going to go in, and everything's got to be independent of the house. So all of this structure is going to be its own independent structure. None of it can be attached to the house. Everything's got to be bolted together. So we had to go pick up some really big drills, and I got to work. The rest of the guys were doing some other stuff. I started measuring and drilling everything out. The posts need drills, the rim boards, these ledgers. I'm not even sure. These giant beams that got added on at the last minute that have been crazy expensive nightmare. But anyway, everything needs to be bolted together real tight and then fastened and sandwiched together with specialty structural screws, the whole 9 yards. So it's really convenient. You lay down in the rocks and the dirt and hammer the bolts through. I wanted all the ends of the bolts to come through. Those 2 bolts down by my elbow, I'm going to flip those around. I want them all facing the inside, so nothing's facing the outside. But we got them. Everything's on. Everything's bolted up. We started getting the joists on. That went really fast. The joists, we made jigs, pre-measured them. They're on 12-inch centers. They go in those little hangers. And then I did some blocking down the center, and just to give it some more support. They don't like really support the floor, they just keep it from wiggling. Coming around underneath, now you can see, I'm just getting underneath it with my Ryobi nail gun. This thing's a beast. It is heavy though. So at this point, this is before we had hung those giant beams. We got everything framed out, and then we came up underneath with jacks, and that way that beam would sit really, really flush, really nice, and then I got it all bolted together. And so you can see underneath, this was us hanging all these hangers. Each hanger has like 12 3-inch nails, and then now you can see afterwards we put those beams in, then each of those has a hanger strap that goes on. They have 10 nails each. So this thing's pretty secure. Now we're just waiting for the inspection, and then we can proceed with putting the flooring, the walls, the roof, and making it look into a house. But it is starting to feel very, very big when you look at it from out here.